Hi guys, it's Heather Vegan Moon, and I'm here to make a video about how I gave up cheese and dairy, which was my favorite food for pretty much my whole life. I've been obsessed with cheese and dairy since as long as I can remember. Ice cream, quesadillas, cheesy everything, burritos, lasagna, cheeseburgers, and all that jazz. But how I gave it up was I found out the truth. I watched Earthlings. And if you've never seen Earthlings, I highly recommend you watch it. It's monumental and life-changing, and also it is traumatizing, but it's the truth. Every second of every day, innocent animals are being tortured, raped, and abused and murdered. And I was pretty negligent to that fact for most of my life. I knew animals were killed, and that's why I went vegetarian over, I don't know, it was in 2010, so over 5 years ago, I went vegetarian, but I didn't realize that animals are killed for the dairy industry too. And so on Earthlings and other really important documentaries, I discovered that what happens is cows can't produce milk without being pregnant, just like humans. And so in order to keep up with demand of human consumption, which is very high, obviously I'm a former dairy addict, I know firsthand how much I enjoy dairy and how much I ate it with like every meal pretty much. So every day, every meal. So if every person on the planet, or at least a large population, millions of people are eating it every day, every meal, that means millions of cows need to produce the product, the milk. And in order to get that product, in order for them to be pregnant, they are subjected to horrific torture. And the dairy industry has literally called this device that they use a rape rack. Yes, it's not a vegan activist term, because it is rape, and they know that. And it's called a rape rack, and it's this big cage that they shove the cow into, probably using cattle prods and beating them to walk into this little tiny, it's a big cage for a big cow, but for the cow, it's like a really tight, confined little space, and it holds them so they can't kick or move around or anything like that. And then it's disgusting that how they do it, and it's unspeakable, but I'm gonna tell you anyways, in case you don't know, because if you're still eating dairy, if you love cheese, milk, ice cream, yogurt, maybe this will change your mind, like it did for me. So, they put these poor innocent cows into the rape rack, and then they shove one arm into their bum, and then another arm with a really long syringe full of bull semen, which is another rape process that they get that semen from, obviously. They don't just like give it away for free randomly. They have to obtain that through force. And it is abuse. It's sexual abuse. And it happens all the fucking time. And it's just normal. It's part of the process so we can have our cheese and our ice cream and our, freaking yogurt and all that crap. So they take the syringe full of the bull's semen and they put that into her vaginal canal with one arm in the bum and the other in the other spot, and they use the arm in the bum to position the uterus so they can get it in the right spot so it actually goes into the uterus. The syringe will actually inject the semen into the uterus, and they do that so it's most efficient, so they don't have to keep trying, or they do it and it doesn't go in the right way and it comes back out or whatever. So basically the poor cow is being horrifically sexually abused. Like, just put that into human terms. Like, if a human was going through that is like the worst nightmare. It's horrifying. And I can't even comprehend how we've gotten to this point where we just think this is okay. It's not okay. It's disgusting. It's just evil, I think. And I saw a picture of this like farm agriculture class for students learning how to do this. And as they had their arms in the cows, they're all laughing. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Oh, this is so funny. I'm abusing a cow. Oh, she probably likes it. No, she fucking doesn't. Why do you think you have to put her in a rape rack? Or tie her up or beat her into submission? It's gross. It's fucking gross. Anyways, so they rape them. They rape the males and then they rape the females. And then they, put it together or whatever. And then she's pregnant. She knows she's pregnant. She's excited. She's having a baby just like any other female would be. Or, some females aren't excited. Human females aren't excited. But maybe that's true for cows too. I don't know. But when that baby comes, that mother instinctually is bonded with that baby. And she loves that baby. And she wants to be with that baby. And she takes care of it and cleans it and gives it her milk, and just like nature intended. And then they take the baby away, usually within the first day. They rip it away from the mom. They kidnap the baby. And then the mom is traumatized, of course, again. And she screams and screams and cries for days, weeks, months, crying out for her baby to be returned to her. And that's natural. Any human female would go through the same emotions. And yes, they are emotions. Cows have emotions. And your dairy consumption is playing on those emotions, on her life, on her natural process. Her natural evolution is to have a baby and love it. And when that's taken away, she is depressed. She's traumatized. She probably has post-traumatic stress disorder. And what happens with the babies? Well, the babies are sent to veal farms where they're kept in little tiny fucking cages and chained down so they can't walk or move at all, because They don't want their muscles to develop and strengthen and tighten, because the weaker they are, the softer their flesh is. So when they go to kill the babies, infants, they're infants when they're slaughtered, and sometimes incredibly brutally and painfully. I mean, any murder is brutal and painful. Sometimes it's just more disgusting. So they kill the tiny little babies, chop up their bodies, and sell their weakened, abused, depressed flesh. They are also depressed, crying out for their moms before they die. And their moms can't hear them. They're on a different farm. They can't save them. Many cows have escaped farms trying to find their baby. They've gone after the farm workers aggressively, trying to get their baby back. And that is normal. That is expected. Any human would be the same exact way. Even males would act the same way, trying to protect the baby. If there was a male cow in the pasture as well, or the farm or cage or whatever the fuck they're in, he would also be protecting that baby. So yeah, that's why I don't crave cheese, milk, yogurt, ice cream at all anymore. Anytime I see cheese, milk, ice cream, like the real dairy whatever, I just think of that abuse. I've seen the images, I've heard the stories, I've heard their cries, and that's all I experience when I see dairy. I do not crave it whatsoever. I remember it tasted good, but I'm not like, ooh, I wish I could have some cheese. Oh, I want milk and dairy and ice cream. No, I fucking don't. It's disgusting. On top of that, it's full of pus, because when they pull the milk out of the udders that was meant for the baby, they are hooked up to these metal machines that are not comfortable. Any human woman would be crying in agony over this device being hooked up to her boobs, and it causes infections, because the metal device obviously cuts her and causes swelling and infection. So when you pull that milk out of that udder, you're getting a bunch of nasty ass pus and blood with it too. So all of the dairy, every single drop of dairy, contains pus and